Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal with the 85th Mr. Informal Podcast. I go by the name of Mr. Informal. I hope you are doing well today. Halloween just passed by. That was a good time, good day, and good night. It just so happens that next week, Halloween may land on a Friday or a Saturday. Either one of those days will be great. And so, don't forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal. And check out my website at mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. So, we are on the 8-5 of the podcast. The 4 topics for today is number 1, Nike sells Hurley. Wow. Number 2, no ship Arctic. Few companies or many companies do not want to ship to the Arctic due to environments. Number 3, I'm going to give you my take on Wework. Yes, Wework. And then last but not least, number 4, Google hire somebody from the government. And employees at Google are not quite happy with it. And so those are the 4 topics for the Mr. Informal 85th podcast. I hope you learned something today. And I hope I brought you something to think about. And so let's get on with the podcast. And so going on to the first topic. This is at retaildive.com. The article says Nike sells Hurley to Blue Star Alliance. So on Tuesday, Nike announced plan to sell Hurley to Blue Star Alliance for undisclosed amount according to a company's press release. The deal is expected to close in December and follow reports over the summer that Nike was looking into option for the brand. Michael Spillane, president of categories and product at Nike, said in a statement that change will allow sharper focus on intentionally investment in Hurley's growth potential as Nike pursues targeted investment through its consumers direct offense. Blue Star Alliance bought Brookstone out of bankruptcy last year, and its portfolio includes the Bebe brand, Limited 2, and others. Wow, first time hearing Blue Star Alliance. So Hurley was acquired by Nike in 2002 and has 29 stores, including factory and employee stores. According to Nike's latest 10K, sales of Hurley brand were wrapped in Nike's North America geographic operating segment, which was responsible for $14.9 billion of the sportswear giant revenue in 2018. Oh, that's pretty good. Founder Bob Hurley stepped down as CEO of the Costa Mesa, California, born in business in 2015. After 16 years in the role, was replaced by CEO Bob Coombs. That is interesting. So as you may know, Hurley hasn't been on the spot, hasn't been great on sales since I'd say mid 2000s, or you can even go back to the late 1990s. Not only that, they are in trouble. Another paragraph in the article today marks the beginning of what will be turning point of our industry. David Tanner, CEO of Board Writers Inc., said in a statement at a time, with a combination of board writers and Billabong, we bring together the best of both companies, creating a dynamic enterprise under the Board Writers umbrella. Unbelievable. So it seems like a lot of surfing wear, or I guess swimwear brands, are not doing so good in this climate or in these times. Now, what do I think of Hurley? Well, no. Let me go back to Nike. So my problem with Nike is, if you watch the Olympics, they are all over the place. Whether it be swimwear, whether it be activewear, sportswear, we're talking about basketball, we're talking about track and field, we're talking about swimming, we're talking about gymnastics, so on. But looking at the Summer Olympics when swimming, I think I was expecting for Nike to put Hurley as the brand logo in when it comes to swim sports. But no, they decided, you know what, we're gonna put a check mark on it. And so that leaves with Hurley with not a lot of awareness, not a lot of marketing. And Nike didn't really market Hurley. And I think that was a missed opportunity for them. They should have given Hurley more technology and more research and development, but that's on them. Now going back to Hurley, now Hurley has not been marketing, has not been doing well with their designs. Heck, no one really knows what's going on Hurley. I mean, the only time I've seen Hurley is when I go to the beach, or I just go to the Hurley stores, I guess. But no one's even in social media. Hurley does not have a strong presence. Maybe internationally they have a stronger presence, but in the US, which is their number one customers and market, they don't have a good strong presence. And so that leaves with Hurley not doing so well. Their profits down, their marketing is down, and Nike sees this and say, hey, this is basically not, this company's not doing so well, and they're not creating a profits for us. And so we decided to sell it. Nike is not a fashion company. You know what? Let me change that word. Nike is not a style company. They never been the type of a company that you can see, you know what, that is really stylish. No, they're more of a performance wear. Now don't get me wrong, they have anomalies, but it's mostly in their shoes that you can say, oh, that's stylish. But that's it. But when it comes to their clothing, nope, that is not it. You see, they never had a good handling with Kohan. They never had certainly they don't have a good handling with Hurley. Now, am I blaming Nike for this? No, I'm blaming both companies, because I think that they could do better. You can see that they're not being proactive when it comes to surfing wear, swimwear, whatever you want to call the segment of the industry. But Hurley has a good name, and if Hurley decides to just stop making clothes or making products, then it would be a sad thing, because Hurley is a great name for the female swimwear. I mean, they could do more with the designs, especially the name. On to the second topic, supplychaindive.com. Article's title is As Nike Pledges to No to Arctic Shipping, Gap, H&M, and more sign on. And so basically the article states that many companies, especially a lot of clothing companies and also luxury companies, do not want to ship to the Arctic. And so other corporate pledge signatories include bestseller, Columbia, Gap Inc., H&M Group, Kering, Li and Fung, PVH Corp. Wow, PVH Corp. If you don't know, they own Calvin Klein. And ocean carriers, CMA, CGM, Evergreen, Hapag-Lloyd, and Mediterranean Shipping Company. The three main shipping routes through the Arctic Ocean act as a shortcut between Asia and Europe, and Northern Sea Route, which follows northern coast Russia, the Northwest Passage along the northern coast of Alaska and Canada, and Transpolar Sea Route, which runs through the center of the Arctic Ocean. So basically, when you are in Canada, you can just go through the Arctic to get to Asia, which is basically a shortcut. So basically, a lot of those companies do not want ship to the Arctic due to the dangers of trans-Arctic shipping routes outweigh all perceived benefits, and we cannot ignore the impacts of greenhouse gas emission from shipping on our ocean. Likewise, on the part of shippers like Nike, sustainability efforts are moving beyond direct manufacturing process to include broader supply chain. In addition to tackling wastewater use emissions, Nike opened in distribution center in its European camps that run on 100% renewable energy. The company says 99% of containers reach the facility via local waterways, saving 14,000 truck trips annually, which is pretty good. So I think this is great. As you know, the world, or the whole earth, is warming up, which Could be an evolution process, a cycle of evolution, or we as humans are just making global warming much faster than usual. Because when you are polluting the earth, not planting enough trees, obviously using a lot of fossil fuels, you are warming up the earth. Well, there has been times in history where the earth has gone through phases or cycle where it became warm, it became cold, so and so. But since this is about waste and also green zero emissions, this is great. I think that we could do much better when it comes to shipping. We don't have to go through the Arctic or even Antarctica or whatever in the north. This is absolutely great. Now, this is just signatures. This is just a pledge. What about the execution? I don't know. I mean, it really depends. As you know, there are living animals living in the Arctic. If bacteria can live on certain temperature conditions, then certainly animals could live. Now, the Arctic is homes of the polar bears, sea lions, the Arctic fox, the Arctic owl. I mean, even the narwhal whale, beluga whales, obviously. But you know, that's a different subject matter we're talking about here. We're not talking about National Geographic, but in terms of environmental impact, this is great. Again, this is just signatures and pledge. We have to go see execution. And look, if we are shipping to the Arctic, it's not just these companies. Obviously, there are other companies out there. And so hopefully those other companies can be on board with this. Let's talk about Wework here. So recently, Wework was bought out by SoftBank for billions of dollars. Can't really remember what the number was, or I can actually look it up right now. Let's see what the amount was. I can't find it. So in any case, so SoftBank buys Wework. Wework is basically a rental office real estate. So from what I read and from what I've been told and from what I see in the news, Wework basically buys real estate, whether it be a building, whether it be an office building or whatever, and then renovates it, and then they rent it to certain companies or even individuals like us. So that could be your studio, your office, or whatever it may be, and you pay a monthly payment. And so all good, right? So a couple years ago, started getting traction much quicker than we thought, and then IPO came out, and then suddenly boom, down the drain. Seems like no one wants to invest on it, and so Wework was running out of cash, and so SoftBank buys it, and here we are. So look, I don't know the CEO of Wework. I mean, I only know how he runs his business, but apparently it grew too fast and he's not controlling it. I do think that it grew too fast, that they should have controlled it. They should have slowed it down. I do think that there are market for these types of companies where a person, an individual, can rent out office spaces and work there. I'm sure Wework's not the only one, but whatever it may be. But it is pretty sad that this company is going down the drain. And obviously the people who work at Wework is gonna need to find employments. So when SoftBank buys it, you know who wins? The CEO. So the CEO probably got a signing bonus and also probably a retirement bonus because SoftBank was telling him, nope, get out, done. And so the CEO of Wework is not really the CEO of Wework anymore, but that still goes back to Wework. So what is SoftBank really doing? No one really knows, but it says in the article, Bloomberg, Wework said it received early payment of $1.5 billion from SoftBank Group as the co-working company is weeks away from running out of money. As a result, a slate of government changes went into effect Wednesday, including replacement of co-founder Adam Neumann as chairman and assignment of 5 board seats to SoftBank, which will take a majority of stake. Wework also said it appointed new independent director to the board. Jeff Sand, co-founder of financial firm Rain Group. So not only that, the $1.5 billion investment was announced in January and was originally scheduled for April 2020. The deal was accelerated as part of a bailout package for Wework from SoftBank to rescue the troubled co-working startup after a failed initial public offering. Well, there you go. So Wework's need for funds was much more dire than initially anticipated based on its IPO prospectus, which became public in August. The filing said that as of June 30, the company had $2.5 billion cash in hand, but with the startup set to run out of funds in November, the suggested burn rate are roughly $6 billion a year. Unbelievable. $6 billion a year of expenses. Wow. Well, then that tells you that every offices and spaces in Wework building are not being rented and are not being used. So that's basically my take on Wework. I think it's accelerated too quickly and they should have slowed it down. And it's pretty obvious that based on the management of the CEO, I guess he wanted to get money or investments and funds as quickly as he can. I mean, when you're renting out office building and real estate, you gotta take it slow. I mean, not everybody can beat real estate market. Moving on to the fourth topic, we are on Bloomberg.com. The title says some employees shape as Google's new internal rules take hold. So apparently, Google hired a former chief of staff of Homeland Security Secretary. So the second paragraph of the article, tensions at the company have flared over the hiring of Miles Taylor, who previously served as a chief of staff to former Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen as government affairs and public policy manager. Some employees have accused Taylor of helping to support the Trump administration hardline immigration policies. Well, you see, that's a very middle of the ground. That's a very touchy subject, or should I say controversial subject. But I do have a problem of a tech company hiring a government official. So, Karen Bhatia, Google's global policy chief, told employees in a staff meeting last week that Taylor wasn't involved in the Trump administration policy of separating children from their parents at the U.S. southern border. But on October 28, BuzzFeed News published emails showing Taylor had in fact shaped talking points for Nielsen administration detention of migrant children. So, I see this in two ways. You see, I have a problem with these employees not having a problem hiring a former government official. And yet they have a problem of this guy separating kids from their parents. I have a problem with that too. But the main thing is that when you hire a former government official, that should be a red flag right away. It doesn't matter what his policy is or was. That should be a red flag right away. Why do we have a government official at Google? Well, easy. Privacy, your data. So, moving on, the article on the internal Google message board on October 29 and 30, employees posted memes that cited parts of the BuzzFeed News report and accused Bhatia of misleading employees, according to 3 Google employees in message seen by Bloomberg News. Unbelievable. So, not only that, Taylor decided to comment that he was hired, but Google continues to try to build stronger ties with Republicans after being criticized for pulling out of the military cloud contract and being accused of bias against conservative search results. So it's suddenly becoming a political thing with the employees. But here's the takeaway in the article. In another recent example, some employees raised concerns over a mandatory new tool that was added to the Chrome browser on their work computers. An internal employee memo said the tool would automatically report staffers who create a calendar event with more than 10 rooms or 100 participants, which alleged was an attempt of leadership to immediately learn about any workers' organization attempts. Google said that the tool was merely a pop-up reminder that asked people to be mindful of auto-adding a meeting to the calendars of a large number of employees. Unbelievable, really? So it's almost like they're starting a coup d'etat here. Look, I don't work for Google, but the main thing is that I absolutely have a problem with Google hiring a formal official, government official. I don't like that. That is a big no-no. Doesn't matter how you twist it, dice it, I wouldn't want to be happy with that. And so that concludes this 85 of the Mr. Informal Podcast. I hope you learned something today. I hope I made you think, gave you some awareness on certain things in the world. Don't forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal. Check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. And so, I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.